Isn't he just beautiful? Hello gamers. Today we are recording this before the release of G in the brand new era of Vanguard 0. As you can see, for whatever reason, the formatting for the ranked banners hasn't changed yet. They changed it when we went into Break Ride era, so I kind of assumed they would change it for G, but I guess not. But anyway, today we're not taking a look at Gear Chronicle, we are not taking a look at Striding. This is a video that is being recorded the night before G comes out, but I wanted to record this before G comes out because it will, of course, every deck will change greatly when Stride comes out. And this is Megacolony, one of the last clan events that comes out in the original series. And so I wanted to record it before we go into G because obviously the rules will change, and I wanted for you global guys to be relatable when you watch this content too, because every deck and fight you watch from this point onwards will have strides in it. And yes, every deck can use strides because they will be generic ones that can be used by every single clan. But anyway, we had an amazing time with spikes last time, with the power of Danji, Otoko Danji. 2-6ing our opponents with the Bloody Ogo Legion, fantastic. But today, I've been playing this deck for the last couple days, and I'm going to tell you, Megacolony ain't half bad. This deck really ain't half bad, and I'm honestly having a really good time with it. It feels like the leader's light, and of course, that's not the best thing. But you know what? It's a fun time, and that's all that matters. So let's take a look at it. I don't know if I've done any Megacolony videos before, so let's just pretend like I haven't and go through everything for the first time. So we have two different legions. First, we have the Machining Scorpio Mark II, who legions with either Machining Hornet Mark II or Machining Mosquito Mark II. And he says, once per turn, if you are in Legion state, count +1 and discard a card with the same name as one of your Vanguards, and then choose 3 Machinings from your soul and call them as rest. And then for that turn, this unit gains a crit. So that's really cool because CB1 Persona to +3 and get a crit is really sweet. Honestly, for a first Legion skill to fill up your board and then push your opponent to 4 damage, that's pretty good. And on top of that, he says once per turn, put a Machining Rearguard into your soul to choose one of your Rearguards and stand it, and then choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and paralyze it. So of course, paralyze means that the Rearguard is rested, it cannot stand, and it cannot move anywhere, so your opponent has to overcall it if they want to use that Rearguard circle. Then we have the other Legion, which is the Machining Tarantula Mark II, which legions with Machining Hornet Mark II. And he says once per turn, when you drive check a card with the same name as one of your Vanguards, if you're in Legion state, count +1, choose your opponent's Vanguard and paralyze it. So it doesn't stand, and they have to rewrite over it in order to actually be able to attack with their Vanguard. But he doesn't force a discard, unlike the old triple rares, keep that in mind. He also says Soul Blast 2 and choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and paralyze it. So that lets you, makes a really nice play actually going first, because you can ride your heal trigger, use its skill, and then ride this afterwards to Soul Blast out the heal trigger and then Legion it back, which I think is pretty sick. So let's talk about that heal trigger, which of course is the Machining Warsicle. He says Limerick 4, when he attacks the Vanguard, count +2, and you may paralyze your opponent's Vanguard, and then at the ride phase of your opponent's next turn, they have to discard a card from their hand. If they don't, they cannot normal ride for this turn. That's a really cool ability because, of course, it's basically like a deleter, They have to discard in order to ride, otherwise they can't attack that turn. At least with deletes, you can actually attack. So I think this card is really cool to go into first and then Legion back immediately after that, because you can Soul Blast all the time in this deck. And also he says, when he's placed, this is why going first is really good. When placed on Vanguard Circle, count +1 and choose 2 Machinings from your soul and call them as rest, which with the starter we can stand immediately. And then he says, Vanguard Rearguard Circle, when he attacks your opponent, he can ignore, paralyze, Rearguard's intercept. So of course that's pretty cool to just deliver lethal, right? So we play him at 4, and then 1 copy of the Machining Spark Hercules. He's helped me out sometimes. He can be a pretty nice finisher at times. Limbrick 4 once per turn. If all of your opponent's units are resting, count +2, and then you may paralyze one of your opponent's Rearguards, and for that turn gain +10k and a crit. So sometimes if your opponent doesn't have PGs in hand, this can be a nice finisher. And also once per turn, Soul Blast 1, you can rest all of your opponent's Rearguards, and for that turn gain +2k power. Then choose a Machining from your soul and call it as rest, and you can also ignore paralyzed units intercept just like the other grade 3. So he's not that great, but he's a nice card to run as a 1-of. So it's an okay card, right? Then for the Legion mates, we have Machining Mosquito Mark II. During your turn, if your Vanguard is a Machining, if all of your opponent's units are rested, you gain +2k in the following ability. Once per turn, when attack hits a Vanguard, you can choose one of your other Rearguards and stand it, and choose an opponent's Rearguard and paralyze it. This is really cool because this gives us 4 attack combos that let us get over intercept if they only have 1 intercept in play. So it's really, really nice. Honestly, I like it quite a lot, and this is probably one of the best Rearguards in the deck, period. The other one is, of course, the Hornet Mark II. When placed, if you're in Legion state, choose an opponent's Rearguard and paralyze it for free, which is pretty good. Some people just put grade 3s in the front row and then I paralyze them and then they can't do anything about it, so feels good. There's a 12k attacker if you have a Machining Vanguard, which is very useful in this deck. And then I run 2 copies of the machining Paprio. When placed on rearguard circle, choose an opponent's rearguard and paralyze it. So it has less power, but at least it doesn't need your opponent to, or like it doesn't need you to be in Legion state. Then we run 4 PGs, of course. We run 3 of this guy. The Locust, when placed, if all of your opponent's units are resting, discard 1, draw 1. Pretty easy condition, I would say. 2 of this guy, machining Kokasas. So when he boosts the machining and the attack it's a Vanguard, you may choose an opponent's rearguard and paralyze it. So of course, pretty good card. Free paralyze, always great. And then we run the guy who says when placed, if you have a soul with machining in its name, he gains plus 3k power. So good booster, good attacker, etc. And then the starter is of course the machining little b. Put it into the soul to stand one of your machining rearguards and draw 1 card. For that turn, that unit gains plus 3k power. In the drop zone, you can Soul Blast 2 to put this card into your soul. So it's pretty nice. I actually completely forgot about that second effect now that I read it. It's a pretty cool way to get it back into the soul and then kind of like call it back out and then stand stuff again. So it adds a little extra layer to the deck. But yeah, the deck is honestly pretty fun. Let's just get in and play a couple games. You know, I don't think I have time for too many games today, unfortunately, so it's going to be a shorter one most likely. But I've been having fun with this deck. Like, it's honestly really fun. Wow, I still have a 3 win streak apparently with it. So yeah, we can have, you know, enjoy some Koga keys and all that good stuff. I think it's honestly like, I don't know, Megacolony, it's not a clan I jive with, and I know a lot of Megacolony mains that became Megacolony mains when Gridora came out, which is the sleeves we're using for today. But you know, it's a pretty fun clan when you get handed all the cards by the clan events, so why not, right? Just kind of mess around with it. We're playing against Osakana, so Osakana. So this is going to be a Narukami match. So I don't really know the matchups of Megacolony. I just know that everyone underestimates it, and so we have a good time because of that, right? That's just how it goes. So the cards you want to ride are cards you generally want to call later on in the game, right? So ride the stuff that you want to see on the board. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So that way, like, the soul is a precious place where you can call stuff out into, because of course, like, 2 of your main grade 3s call stuff, right? So that's also great. Having this as our first grade 3, going second is okay, to be honest. Going second is kind of decent. I'm thinking I might want to ride this though, because it'll be a nice and powerful one, and then we can call this just a filter already now, so I think that's quite okay. We don't have to worry about the rears for the time being. Oh wait, he's not rested. Oops, misplay already. Wow, God Gamer DF, look at me go. What an amazing moment. I always forget that everything needs to be rested on the opponent's side of the field, and, you know, that's just how it goes. But that's fine, it's a booster we can use later. Or it's also a booster that can get attacked by the brawlers later, so that's also another thing. I guess it's fine. Alright. My opponent's attacking, he's got his filter, which I don't, which is very unfortunate. God damn it. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat this forever. This might be the better First Legion, to be honest. This is the one I prefer too, so I think it's okay. But now, we need a way to Soul Blast, right? Because neither of our cards, like this gives us Soul Blast too, so that sets up for Legion really well. But for the time being, we're not looking too hot yet. So we gotta take this carefully, right? Play this out carefully. Alright, we should ride this guy, so we can call him out later. So this is the Mosquito, and then we can call this guy because he only, you know, he only stuns stuff when you're in Legion, so we can just like attack with it, and then if he gets taken out, it's fine, right? We want to put him back to the deck because we need to drive check him for one of our grade 3s, so I think for that reason it's definitely quite okay. And then we're going to swing with the little 16k here. Gets a draw, but that's okay for me, to be honest. Man, I'm still wondering what I need to do to make my blue stacks not be this, like, I don't know, it feels a bit choppy lately. I think in the last couple Decken fights, it's just been a little bit, like, not as smooth as it used to be. And I definitely don't like that. And I think for the viewers, too, it doesn't look as nice, right? You can see the kind of choppiness, you know? It's, like, compared to playing on your, like, mobile device, you know, BlueStacks definitely doesn't cut it sometimes. So maybe just because BlueStacks is very CPU heavy lately. And, of course, like, you know, when I'm streaming and recording and stuff, it's taking up a lot of my CPU. So maybe that's why, you know, it's a bit extra heavy on my computer as well. He hits a draw, which is pretty good, but he rode the wrong brawler, which I think is good news for me at least. Good news for me at least. So he doesn't have anything good to stun, but we might stun the Helena because that's like the most annoying card for next turn. And I think he doesn't mind it being stunned either, which is kind of funny. So I think it's okay. We can theoretically overcall something, which, like, if I didn't mistime this, that would have been not a problem. But this might be the one game where we actually put our soul into the drop first then, which is kind of odd to think about, but I think that's the line of play we're going to go for. Let's ride the Tarantula for now. So we go into the Tarantula, we're going to use this skill to Soul Blast 2 and paralyze this, because there's no point to paralyze intercepts because we have to attack into them, right? And then we're going to do this, overcalling it with This is fine. And then we're going to put back everything here. So of course we kind of lose one of our discards for later, but I'm not really going for that game plan this turn. You know, like this deck is really like all grade 3s do work, essentially. So you don't really like worry about whichever one does the most work. And now we can also paralyze the starter. Of course you can use the skill next turn, it's not really a problem, but at least we paralyzed it and now all of his units are resting, so that's something that's pretty nice as well. So yeah, apologies for the misplay with the grade 1, I actually feel bad about that. I genuinely feel bad about that. Oh, we didn't hit the right, yes, there we go. Alright, sweet, we hit the drive checks, now his Vanguard will be paralyzed. Very good. So CB1, paralyze the Vanguard. Just CB1, you know, it's really good. So now, he doesn't have to discard, but he does have to, like, re-ride from hand. Of course, if he wants to ride the cross-ride, he will need it. But he doesn't actually have the cross-ride in hand. That's pretty huge for me. So there we go. We forced a ride. He otherwise would not have needed to do that. So, good for us. Good for us. That's the power of this guy, which is very nice to see. So yeah, now, like, we won't want to ride into this guy unless we draw into one of the, like, Legion mates, which is pretty cool because then we can actually call out both of these guys from the soul and then immediately, like, paralyze something on the opponent's field too. And now he doesn't get the filter from Helena, which is pretty good, I would say. I think it's pretty nice. He does get the huge power up from this, you know, this hitting 3 things though, so of course that's pretty big. Gets a heal trigger as well, which is quite major, I would say. And the draw, he's been checking all of his knuckle busters, so I'm not too surprised, you know, that things are going this way for him. We get a heal trigger, that's pretty fat. It's pretty huge. It's pretty amazing. Alright, so only one of his attacks will hit. We're gonna go to 4. If I can top deck a Warsicle, we can paralyze his Vanguard again. Of course, we can also just stay on this. Like, there's no point, or like, there's no harm in staying on this Vanguard too. We do get the Warsicle, but then, like, I'd have to, like, call a PG or... No, we don't, because we can call 2 things from the soul, which we can call these 2 guys. So let's just do that. Let's just ride the Warsicle. So then that becomes our soul, and then we use the skill to basically, like, call them out. So that's pretty nice. We can call this guy here, and this guy here for now. Just for now. We'll put him back. It's fine. So that's pretty cool. Boom, boom. Then we use this guy to put him into the soul and stand this guy. Ching. Oh, wow, the Hercules. That's a pleasant surprise. So we can put this back, and then basically we're going to just swing into the rears and then swing into the Vanguard to paralyze it and force him to discard as well. If you give me Limit Break, I'm going to use my Limit Breaks, right? That's just how the cookie crumbles. So we're doing pretty good so far, actually. We're doing pretty good. Definitely like what I'm seeing. So CB2, and paralyze the Vanguard, and now he also has to discard if he wants to re-ride, which is super huge. We check another heal trigger, which is very nice if we need to re-legion later. So this way we actually are stonksing our way through the game. Alright, so now the question is, what does he have in hand? Will he discard with a re-ride? Does he draw a re-ride even? Or will he just swing with the rears and pass? I'm curious. Oh, he discards the heal trigger. He has the Big Bang Knuckle Buster, but with that we made him drop a lot of cards from hand. And I don't really mind, to be honest, because next turn I can paralyze his Vanguard again. Like, this attack doesn't even need to hit. Doesn't even need to hit, and you can just get rid of it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, good cards. Like, I don't know, like, Megacolony has pretty decent cards. So yeah, the only one that hasn't shown its face yet is the thumbnail of the video, I think. I'm pretty sure it'll be the thumbnail of the video at least. But we'll write it next game. It's a very good grade 3. Like, you can go into it whenever because it's like a +3 from Soul. So, it's pretty good for that reason. Alright, let's see. Our man is using the Big Bang Knuckle Buster. He had so many grade 3s in hand. Wow. Not even struggling. I mean, it's good when you don't. It's good when you don't. But does he have rear guards that power up, right? If this wasn't, you know, the Stormbring Dragoon. Ooh, double Stormbring. I mean, that's fine. It makes it harder for me to win the game, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I guess. So, I guess let's see. Worst case, I mean, I might just, like, if I top deck a Persona Blast for this Scorpio, then I can use the skill. Ooh, okay, he's playing a bit cautious here. But that's also, like, a bit too cautious, I would say, because this gives me some nasty plays as well. Oh, he heals, of course he does. He gives me 2 CB, so that means I could stay on the Warsicle and, like, be unpunished in a way. 12k attacker would have been really good to have, but it's not too big of a deal. It's not too big of a deal. Alright, he's not filtering, which I think means he has 2 PGs in hand. I'd like to assume. This hand is also, like, whatever. I don't really want to rewrite this. I think we just go for this play. We go for the 1 to pass, you know, to paralyze, and then hopefully we hit a trigger here. Do we have triggers in deck? 4 triggers and 22 cards? You love to see it. It's okay, we just paralyze. We make him discard cards. We're just buying time in a way. So let's see if we hit a trigger here. Boom! Heal trigger too? Okay, I love my chances, man. Now I'm looking good for the Legion next turn. I think I don't even... I have 1 copy of this guy and 3 copies of the grade 2, so I should be hitting one of them soon. Alright, well, will my man discard? I'm literally making him go through his entire hand. And I think he has 2 PGs in hand, plus whatever he just drew into. So I don't think he's going to want to discard, which will make him basically pass turn. Maybe put down a booster for his rear guard. He is not going to do anything there. Alright. Okay. Is that it? Does he call down a booster? He's going to pass. He's going to just pass. Look at the power of this card, man. Look at the power of this card. You love to see it. Alright, in that case, I think we just slowly push him a little bit then. We can call this down to have a nice booster behind Vanguard. Or you can just put it behind rear guard, to be honest, and like swing rearing to Van. Yeah, we can do like Van to rear and then rear to Van. I think that works. That works. We don't need to like overdo it with the pressure and stuff. I was also gonna say I don't have any triggers in deck, but apparently I have all the triggers in deck. Apparently I have all the triggers in deck, so that doesn't matter. I'm still at 3 damage though, and my man definitely has 2 PGs in hand. Maybe 3 at this point? Or it could be his Big Bang that he wants to keep in hand now. But I also don't want to overcall my hand because they're gonna die, so obviously that's a little bit yikes. Yep, he had it. I had a feeling that he did, actually. I had a feeling. But luckily it doesn't hit that much. He cycles 1. Let's see. He cycled the 1. I'm pretty sure he has 2 PGs in hand. What else, though? That's the important question. What else? Does he have intercepts, right? That's a heal trigger, isn't it? No, it's a draw. It's a draw, okay. Alright. I needed that in hand. I needed that in hand for the Persona Blast. Maybe we can still hit it. Would be really nice. Otherwise, I can paralyze Vanguard again, which I don't think he wants. I don't think that's what he wants. Okay, he can cycle. Cycle the heal away, that's right. He hit 3 times, so he can cycle a lot. He's probably gonna cycle until he hits a 3rd PG because that's like his only way of survival. But him being a counterblast now is suddenly way more annoying. I just wish I could paralyze this. I really wish I could paralyze this. I still have plenty of paralyzed cards in deck, but I'm just not drawing them. We hit the Persona Blast. I think maybe we push that button then, because then we plus to the board, and we can actually stand. We stand the grade 3 with the with the thingy with the starter, but we only get like 1 attack out of that. Is that actually worth it? Because I don't think committing 2 PGs and risking death is worth it either. But maybe the paralysis is more worth it, and also like legioning back stuff might be more worth it. Let's go for that. I think paralyzing him here won't do me as much. This might be a misplay. I don't think it is, though. I don't think it is. We have a couple heals we can put back and a couple draws we can put back. We still have a Legion Mate in deck, too, which is pretty sick. I guess I'll put back these guys because it's paralyzed. No PGs, though. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Alright, let's Legion. And then we can Persona Blast to call the dudes out of Soul, which is fun. Alright, so that Legions. And then we're gonna do this skill. Yeah, this skill. To call these guys out of Soul as a rest. But that's fine. That's fine. The most important thing is the starter powers up the grade 3, which is really cool. And we get a crit on this too. So this thing goes to Soul, stands the guy, and we draw 1. And we draw into something not fantastic, but it's kind of good. I'm thinking if we use it though. I don't think I want to cycle away a PG here, but I'm thinking if I want to try to force the 3 attacks. I think we do try to force the 3 attacks. We just try to go for game here. I think he has 3 PGs, personally speaking, but this is our chance to win, and I think it's our only chance to win because he can break through 2 PGs because I have no intercepts, right? So we're going to try to hit him with a crit and see if we can beat the best deck in the meta with a Megacolony Legion. Am I the ultimate mad lad? Have I achieved that kind of status yet? Let's find out. We might just have reached it. He has 2 heals in deck. Can he hit both consecutively? No, he cannot. And just like that, the Bug Overlords Kogeki their way through the best deck in the meta. Alright, I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect that game to go as well as it did, but I'm not gonna complain, you know. Megacolony best deck Copium. Low-key meta Copium. I mean, it feels like it does everything, and I feel like I really showed off everything the deck does in that one game, except for the grade 2 Legion Mate. That guy is a really good card, especially if like in the early game you can really high roll with him. So it's pretty fun. Honestly, I hope that above all else, this video teaches you guys that you can just mess around with whatever you want and just like do your best, you know? Playing against Link Joker though, we keep running into Link Joker every single time on these Tekken fights, man. How is that a thing every single time? Alright, as usual, Legion I mean, you know, mulligan back the stuff that you don't want to ride, if that makes sense, that you want to call later. And then we're going to try to see if we can draw into our heal trigger into the double rare legion, or just draw the triple rare legion. That could also work. But we lack the drop zone if that happens. Like, the double rare legion is actually pretty decent. Ooh, Mr. Spark Hercules, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, sir? Excuse me. Wait, doesn't this work on turn 1? Boost attack. Yes, this is a machining, so it will paralyze the booster. It's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Alright. Okay, we draw a grade 3. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Alright. Okay, it's a draw. That's fine too. Wait, does it not? Does it have to be grade 3? この板がブーストしたマシニングのアタックがヴァンガードにヒットしたとき、相手のリガードを1枚。Oh, it has resist, that's why. Right, it's a resist grade 0. That's why it's immune. That's why it's immune to my effects. Okay, that's fine. Well, I don't think being paralyzed is that scary though. Personally. Oh well. Oh well. Alright, so this time around, if we are writing this first, I think I'll write this instead so I can legion it back to have higher chances to hit the skill. So next turn he could photon me, which would be a bit nasty. And I'm a little bit afraid of that. But I also don't want to lose the damage race, and putting this back to deck would be super swag. So let's just swing for now. I think that's fine. And then swing with this. Of course, this is not going to hit anything in terms of the grade 1 effect. But hopefully it doesn't have photon. Hopefully, and if he does, I hope he doesn't use it. I hope he doesn't call it. I hope it doesn't exist. Alright, Infinite Zero. He might use photon. He might have photon. He might have photon. Please don't have photon. Please don't have photon. Please no photon. Please no photon. Yes! No photon. Safe. And I can also paralyze his grade 3. Let's go, gamers. Let's go, gamers. Gamers be like. Okay. Alright, he can also hit me to 4, which is fine. Oh, if I can top deck my heal now, I can paralyze his Vanguard, which is so sick. It's so sick if it can happen, but I don't think it will. I'm severely doubting it. What is this damage zone, man? Holy hell. Alright, enough gassing up the bugs. It's time to show you what the Bugs Life trilogy is all about. Y'all are about to learn, alright? We use the skill. Soul Blast 2, paralyze the grade 3. You stay here, baby. You stay right there. Then, we are going to... call this here. Overcall it with this. So we can have a maximum chance of hitting the Vanguard skill. Put back the legions. Literally legion pairs. Literally the legion pairs. And then we're gonna basically, like... We can multi-attack this turn. We can do so much stuff. This is like... mwah, beautiful. Beautiful. So here's what's gonna happen. We don't have soul. So I should have used the grade 1 before... I should have called the grade 1 before using the grade 3 skill. That's entirely my bad. Entirely my bad, but it's not too bad. Let me just put it that way. So I'm gonna hit with this. Without boost, doesn't matter. It's a full board, I also know that, but it doesn't matter. I'm here for the memes. I'm here to win with bugs, okay? I'm here to paralyze my opponent's Vanguard. Put this man to 5. Put this man to 5 and paralyze his entire... No, that's the wrong trigger! Yeah, no, that's the wrong trigger again! I appreciate the double draw, but we literally hit the wrong cards. We literally hit the wrong cards, and now he's not paralyzed, and now I'm gonna die. Now I am going to die. Oh no. No, and it's my favorite Link Joker deck too. Mr. Dark Zodiac, no. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's so rude of you. Bruh. Bruh. Why? Why would you do that? Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Well, we haven't entirely lost yet. Oh no, there's a Palladium. I think we were just about ready to lose. I don't think he's keeping up any of my units over here. I think he's legioning. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what the man doing? What the Dark Zodiac doing? Yep, here we go. There's the Omega Lock. Uh-oh. Yep. Now here comes the photon. I'm ready for it. Here comes the photon. Oh. It's not. Wait, he gave me a circle. Based? Augi's confirmed? Wait, but I only have 1 PG in hand, so I'm dead anyway. No! I'm dead. But that might not be the worst thing because I have to start streaming 1 minute ago. Unless we heal here somehow. Which we do still have in deck. It's okay, we made an attempt. We got to show off what the grade 2 does. That's all that matters. We can't, you know, I can't flex the full power level of Megacolony. I can't just do that quite yet. So, there you go. That is Megacolony. I think game 1 showed you literally everything, and game 2 was like the cherry on top, you know. Wasn't exactly a dub, but still a quick little game. So I think with that, we'll call it there. A bit of a shorter deck and fight this time, but this is basically like a DLC at this point, and I'm really glad that the game 1 showed like everything this deck has to do, so it's pretty good. So yeah, that's Megacolony. Have fun with it if you guys are building it from the last clan event, although Grand Blue is also there. I'll see when I cover Grand Blue, because I don't have the cards yet. But we do have a Grand Blue clan gacha that I could put some packs into. Maybe, perhaps, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes, because of course by then Strides will be out, and that kind of changes everything. So we'll see what we do with Grand Blue. But of course, this is Megacolony. If you guys have the cards, have fun with it. It's a very enjoyable deck. And then after this, you'll be seeing the G era deck and fight. So of course, it's going to be a whole new style. Going to be very exciting. Actually, this entire like stream overlay is based on the card shop in Vanguard G. So it's going to be very fitting with the entire look of the stream. So I'm super hyped for that, you know, to share these moments with you guys. So yeah, it's been a great ride with the original season of deck and fights. But of course, now we're going into season 2 of Vanguard 0. It's going to be a great time overall. But anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you like the content, please do subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.